What is up, y'all? It is your girl Jazz from All That Jazz. I have a story time for y'all. Let me just start this off by saying, y'all, I am awkward in a lot of social circumstances. I'm really good about like isolation, being on my own, kind of like staying focused and stuff. But there is something about social activities that brings out the most awkward aspects of who I am. And so, but instead of like making myself feel bad about it, I'm going to expose it and just talk about it. And yeah, hopefully it'll give you a laugh, or you'll feel like, you know, you relate and somebody also relates to you. So anyways, as I said from my previous video, I just got back from the gym. I like working out late at night. I'm not somebody that, you know, wants to wake up first thing in the morning and just go and do a workout. I'm not a fan of that. I'll either go in the middle of the day, or, you know, if I have the ability, I'll go at night. So anyways, I go, and it's been a whole situation when it comes to my gym in the first place. I got an LA Fitness membership almost a year ago, and the whole reason why I got that membership was because they had a basketball hoop. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I absolutely love playing basketball. It is my favorite sport. It has been since I was like 3 years old. That said, the location that I prefer to go to, the entire location shut down. And I was like, well, that's disappointing. And I'm big on, like, I could go to another location. There's one that's actually closer to me, but I'm big on how I feel in an environment. And I really liked the feel of that environment. This other one that's closer to me, I'm not a fan. I don't like the way that I feel when I go there, and it's just in an area that I personally wouldn't, if I didn't have to be in that like area of town, I wouldn't be there. That said, so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to that one. They closed the one down that I like. And the last redeeming quality about this one LA Fitness, sorry LA Fitness, I know I'm trashing now, but they got rid of the basketball hoop. And I'm like, literally, that was the entire reason why I did this entire membership. So that said, I'm like, I'm canceling them. And so I went a couple weeks ago to try and get another membership at another place. So I ended up getting one with Crunch Fitness, and this is not sponsored by them at all, but this just my life and what happened. So the Crunch Fitness that I go to is close to my job. Well, I was in there tonight. I've been there one other time because I just now signed up for this membership. I've been there one other time. I went there tonight, and I was finishing one set on like one area of equipment, and I was about to go to another. So I'm like, you know, let me go ahead and, you know, wipe everything down. And I'm unfamiliar with it because it's still new to me. And so I'm like, I don't know where the little wipe things are. So I'm like looking for them. Well, I see them, and as I'm walking there, I see a coworker of mine. And I had a feeling, I was like, you know, this is close enough to where I work. I would not be surprised if somebody that I know, or multiple people even, this is where they work out. So anyways, I see him. Mind you, I think that he's very attractive. I was about to tell his name, but that might not be a good idea. So I think he's very attractive. And, you know, we've had some like interactions and stuff at work that have made me kind of question. I'm like, he seems a little interested. He's asking certain questions and things like that. But I don't know for sure. He hasn't made an official move. And, you know, I believe that the man should be not only a pursuer, but I think he should be really clear and direct about it. So he hasn't had that. So I'm not going to make any assumptions one way or the other. But, so I saw him, and I was like, oh, he's far enough away that if I'm looking at him the entire time, it's going to come off as awkward. So I was like, let me look away. And I'm pretty sure he even caught that I like looked away and then tried to look back and played off like, oh, hey, what's up? And so anyways, he was like, hey, what's up, Jasmine? And I was like, what's up, so-and-so? And what happened? He took his earbud out, and then he like motioned his hand like he was ready to give me a high five. So I gave him I like put my hand up to give him a high five, and then he fist bumped me, and I'm like, so this was a very awkward moment. And there was a noticeable pause. We had a moment of silence for just how awkward that moment was. And at first, you know, I felt like he was gonna go in for a hug, but I think it was kind of like, okay, we're coworkers. We have talked a little bit, but we don't know each other like that. So then maybe a high five is better. But then he like switched it up at the end and did a fist bump. And I'm not sure if it was me or him that was awkward, or maybe it was both of us. And one thing about me in an awkward moment, best believe I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna say, "Oh wow, that was a little strange," which is exactly what I said. And then it just was like, all right, how do we redeem this? How do we reel this back in? And somehow the conversation ended up being normal again. But I was just like, man. And then later on, I go outside because, you know, I was like, okay, well, I'll see you later. You know, you go have a good workout and I'm about to continue mine. And then, because also like the gym was about to close within like the next probably like 40 minutes. So I'm like, I'm not trying to, you know, keep him from working out, because I told him my whole LA Fitness story. So then I go outside to audio message my friend to tell her what happened. Well, as I'm walking back in, I'm still like messaging her because it's still like, you know, playing. And I'm trying to walk in the door. This man is like holding the door. And I thought he was holding it for me. And so I was like, oh, thank you so much, you know. Well, there's somebody else coming out of the door and he was holding it for them. And the guy that's walking through the door is kind of like you're in the way. And then I walked through. It was just the most awkward moment. And that also was captured on the audio message as I was telling her how awkward I am with the guy that I like at work. And I'm just like, man, can this get any more cringe? Thankfully, it did not. The remainder of the night was fairly normal. But I just say that to say, you know, it's awkward out here in these streets. At least I am. And I feel bad for every person that I encounter that just can't bear the awkwardness with me, or has had to, unfortunately. So I just thought I would share that. Like I said, you know, it's late. I'm up and wired and in a pretty good mood, but I just figured I'd share that for the sake of anyone else who can relate. So, and what makes it worse than anything else is like, I find him very attractive. I really, you know, if he asked me on a date, now he has to be saved, you know, I don't know if he is, but if he asked me on a date, I wouldn't say no unless the Lord told me to. But we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted if there's any update. So, but until next time, peace out.